Hi, I'm Jim Coleman. Welcome to Streetviews, where we get your views from the streets. MPs say that what they claim for on expenses is all within the rules. But what do you say? Let's find out. What's your reaction when you hear an MP say that what they claim for on expenses is within the rules?
I don't really feel very confident that the rules are fair, frankly. I don't think they should be claiming expenses for things that are clearly nothing to do with their work.
I'd say they're claiming more than their due rights. At the end of the day, cleaning one's moat is not something you can actually do on public money. It's completely unacceptable.
MP spending our money, I think it's fucking diabolical, because you know why? They're all living in big rich houses, they're all getting a certain income every year, and they're living off that, but they aren't spending it, and they're living off probably the wife's income who's not an MP, and they're having things very, very cheaply, and they're taking the piss out. There's homeless people on the streets of London who could do with that money, or that money could go to charity. Why do they not give the money back what they've robbed of people? Give the money back to the government. Or else, if you don't do that, it should be brought to justice.
I read the London paper, right, and I trust everything it says because I think it's like the best publication we've got in the, London at the moment. It's free, and the views are impartial in it, and it's just like really, really good news. I think just really good writing. I just read it for everything, and so according to that, there's all sorts of awful stuff's happened, and I think it's terrible. I think it's really awful.
It's fair play really, because if I was an MP I'd do it, because I'm skinned, but then they're not skinned, so that's the point. It's like they're not skinned, so I think they're taking the Mickey Mouse, because they're not skinned, so why are you taking our money? So I reckon they shouldn't do it, but I would do it if I was an MP.
Well, if that was in their expenses rules, then I think we all should have them, because I'd have an extension on my house too if everyone else was paying for it. I was furious. I think everyone else was as well.
They're the people that make the rules, and that you got. It's quite disheartening when you think that they're the people that we trust, we elect them, but yet they're the people that kind of gratify themselves, if you see what I mean. And it's quite disheartening to think that that this has been going on for so long, to be perfectly honest.
It doesn't bother me, because if you add up all the money the MPs have claimed, it comes to about 1.5 million, probably no more. What we should be talking about is all the money the people in East London in the banks have been claiming, costing every payer 17,000 each. They're just pushing the issue over. MPs, so what if they've claimed £100, £150 here? It doesn't matter. Those bankers have cost us thousands each, yet we all seem to be moaning about the MPs.
Aren't you bothered at all about the fact that they might be wasting your money?
No, I don't. If it was up to me, I'd give the MPs about 20 grand each more every year. Get them on a decent pay package. The people we should really be having to go is the people working in the banks.
Well, I think that they're
making
their own rules. So, of course, they may be within the rules as they view them, but it's a matter of interpreting the rules, and those that are paying for all of those things, I think, might have a different opinion of the rules.
Well, why is it any of our business as to what they're claiming?
Oh right, yeah, because it's our money, innit? So it's all paid for by our taxes. No one really wants to pay tax. They're taking the Mickey Mouse, telling everyone what you should and shouldn't be spending your tax on, and then at the end of the day, they're spending our tax on their benefit. So yeah, it's our tax. That's why. Yeah.
Well, because it's money that we pay as a taxpayer. This is our money, and it should be going to our public services, and that's where it should stay.
Because you guys are paying for it.
Ultimately,
The taxpayers are paying for all of that. They have to answer for that.
Well, because we're the people that elect them. We're the people that put them in their place. We give them a job to go to in the morning. And if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be in Parliament.
Well, I think that's quite obvious. It's obviously our business because it's our money and it's our, it's our taxes. I just think it's ridiculous. The MP I live in Brent, the Brent constituency. And the current MP claimed £60,000 in taxes in the past year, which I think is ridiculous. £60,000, especially in Brent, which is a very impoverished area. I think and there's not a lot of money, I don't think, in that area. And £60,000 would do a lot for the community, and I think that could have been a hell of a lot better spent.
Don't you think they're allowed to claim for expenses if it's used for carrying out parliamentary duties?
Only for parliamentary duties? Not for cleaning expenses and buying a new flat for themselves and...
Well, like watching pornography, I don't think that's really... Is that a parliamentary duty?
No.
That's a human duty, but it's not a parliamentary one, I don't think.
I think that's a very broad area, though. Extra bedrooms, second homes, an allowance to have a second residence if they don't live in the capital for the time that they're here being legislators is one thing, but some of it seems to be a bit excessive.
Parliamentary duties, having your brother sleeping in the room next door. I mean, forgive me, I think we all went to school and we all know the basics of maths somehow or another, but actually claiming for someone else's your rent is wrong, and surely they know that. I mean, even Barbie or Cindy on the shelves in H&M would know that.
What do you call parliamentary duty, innit? Like cleaning your fish pond or like cleaning your paddling pool, whatever it is they do. Like that ain't really parliamentary expense. So that's taking the Mickey Mouse again.
They are, but they can, they have forced it in situations like one particular MP, whose name I forget, disappointingly. She claimed a load of money for, she claimed like 50 grand or so to create an extra house for her brother to live with her, to look after her kids, in order to perform her parliamentary duties. But ultimately, you can employ someone for a lot less money than that to look after your kids whilst you're away at work.
It depends how you define parliamentary duties. I mean, personally, I don't see how a floating duck island can have anything to do with parliamentary duties whatsoever. So I don't know, I think it's flawed.
From what you've heard in the news, what expense claim has annoyed you the most?
That fellow with the moat. He had a house and they took a picture of it that looked like Balmoral. Well, it wasn't quite as big as Balmoral, I can tell you that. However, it was extraordinary. He had a moat around his house which he needed cleaning, and the old fella couldn't actually do it himself. And he had a whole load of other things that were just, I mean, come on.
The porn. That annoyed me the most. And the cleaning one. Was it £4,000 of cleaning?
If I had a mate, I'd get someone to clean it and
yeah, but not
country pay for it.
No. You're a knob. No.
I think they're all equal, really. When you start like getting like wicked TV and stuff, that's taking the Mickey Mouse, because like stuff like that, because they can probably afford it. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's something like, I really pushed the boat out on getting a new house because I can't afford that, then that's fine. But TV, they can afford that anyway. So it's wrong.
There was one MP, I can't remember who it was, who was claiming for rot in her second house, despite the fact that the house that she lived in was actually in London. I can't remember what MP that was though.
You know, the one that I thought was the most egregious was the woman who paid her sister £12,000 to be her secretary. She lived 100 miles away from the woman paying her. She resigned, didn't she? What was her name? Catherine somebody, or can't remember her name. She's the most recent resignee. I mean, 12, it's like, oh, well, how much of my family can I support on the public dole?
The private dole.
Yeah.
It's pennies when you think about it.
But it's still your money.
It's still my money, but money, when you've got a system like we have where we have to pay tax, the money's always going to get wasted on endless committees, deciding, taking their big expensive lunches. That's the way it is.
Cleaning the moat is ultimately absurd. Particularly because the owner of the moat has so much money that it's just absurd.